Oh, wow. It is humid. Humidity, my friends. Hello. Hello. I am Beth. I am Destination Decluttered. I am just coming back from a morning thing, a walk around my little town that I love so much, doing the walking. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I rarely do these TikTok lives on the weekends because I don't know about you. I love my weekends. I was just saying to my husband how Saturdays just feel different. Good morning. Good morning, Melissa. Nice to see you. Linda B. Me being Miss Jean on Romper Room here, welcoming everybody in until it gets so crazy that I can't keep up. But the early people like Celia and Jazzy Faye 8 and Gigi Gina, DeJean Jeannie and Cheryl, and who else? Oz 2016. Oz, listen to me, Boston. That's my Boston accent. Anyhow, I was just saying to my husband before I hopped on here how Saturdays just feel different, don't they? Now, the funny thing is that he and I work for ourselves. What is that? Independent contractors, whatever. So technically, we make any schedule we have, but you know what? It is totally different. So the world is set up kind of for that Monday through Friday and then the weekend thing, at least here in the U.S. Am I right? Hey, Shelly in Texas. Nice to see you. And Hilda and Seller 268. So I am here for you on my Saturday, on our Saturday, to help you with what you're stuck with declutter-wise. Now, I showed up on a Saturday, and where's my thing here? And I'm going to show up on Sunday, too, tomorrow. Ooh, that'll be interesting because I made plans for tonight. I'm here to help you. I'm curious if you have. I'm curious all the time. I'm curious if you have a decluttering project that you are going to be starting or working on today because it's the weekend, okay? And I am specifically here today. Christina, number one gifter. You know what? I have a note to say, hello, friend, to say rock on. Christina's getting ready for a party. Christina knew to start early in the week and not just leave it for today. And rock on, you've got this. Your place is going to look and feel awesome. You are going to feel awesome when you open up the door to the people coming into your home. You're going to be relaxed. You're going to be confident. You're going to be not stressed. You're going to have a lovely time. And the neat thing is, tomorrow after this party has happened, it'll be so much easier to kind of recover from it because you have started to declutter already. Oh, and that's so cool that Melissa's saying hey to Christina, and Christina is doing the good stuff too, because you know what? Those guys met on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list because I do a monthly Zoom, a free Zoom group call just for people on the Destination Decluttered mailing list. If you want to get on that, it's free. It's an email mailing list. I don't spam you. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. You immediately get a road trip inspired printable PDF of a habit tracker that I use, and you can literally download it, use it for the rest of your life. It's free just for signing up for my mailing list. But then also because you're on the mailing list, you will be invited to the Destination Decluttered group only Zoom. The June one was awesome. July is happening, I think, on the 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern. I am East Coast. So there we go. All right. So I love it. PM 111208 says, hi, yes, I have a decluttering project. Chunking it down first. Yes, and I need to get to there. Yes, decluttered. That's our destination. That's where we're driving. Just as an aside, I'm sharing some stuff, but it's kind of funny. So one of the things I've done with myself and my life coaching and my decluttering is saying what's important in my life. And it's not just the physical objects in my home, right? And this is how I coach because I'm a certified life coach, is I also say what's important in my life. What do I want my life to look like? What do I want my life to feel like? And here's one where it's like, what do I want my life to smell like? Use all the senses when you are describing. So when you say, Os 1016 says, I need to get to there. You're there. What does your there look like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? Use all your senses, including like your vibe of like how you want to feel, okay? Your feeling, but also your senses. And I say that because when I'm moving them around my hands right here, so I got up and I went to a Pilates class. I walked down to my little downtown, which I love, and I went to a Pilates class with a teacher that I love. And then I walked to our farmer's market, which I love to be able to do. And I bought a thing of not even flowers. It's like a bouquet. Okay, it's a bouquet, and it was an aromatherapy bouquet, and it's just to make my house smell good. And I realized I want my home to smell good. And then in cutting it and putting it in the little vase, it's not a vase, it costs less than $10. I realized I still have some of the residuals on my face, so every time I'm doing this, it smells really good. So what do you want your decluttered home to smell like, and make it smell that way? I know certain smells I don't want. Poop, garbage, cigars, stuff like that. So just think about involving all of your senses. All of your senses. The more every level you can make your home feel good to you, the more levels you'll feel good on, okay? All right, enough of me yakking here, blabbing. What I want to say, how can I help you? When choosing therapy or life coach, what's the difference? I am looking for something different. Okay, here's what I want to offer to you. If you... you will know the difference if you just need life coaching or you need something a little bit more deeper, a little bit more serious, a little bit more that it would really get you the result you want, to speak to somebody who has medical, professional, psychiatric training and certification. Okay, I like to consider myself in the world of therapy. I just want to offer to you that I love it when my potential clients who sign up for consultations, when we get on a consultation, you can do that from my website. But when they say to me, I'm in therapy, I have a therapist and ... I love that, because what I do is like therapy light. One of the reasons I do a consultation is to make sure that what you are struggling with is something I can help with. If it seems like you and I would be out of our depths, I will, with love, say, I don't think this is a good fit, but I encourage you to get the help you need. So I am like in the Happy Meal, in the the drive-in meal of life. I am not the burger to some people. I am the fries to their burger. Okay, I am a nice kind of add-on ancillary side dish to, if you have more important things you're dealing with. But if you know pretty much, you're just like, my life is pretty good, but I just get this one thing about my clutter, that I can probably help you with. Okay, there we go. I had friends over last night and had my smelly candles going. They all commented on the smell. Yeah. Oh, there we go. The smell of my home, and I just beamed. I never thought how I would feel good about that. Yeah, it makes a difference. There's so many little things that we don't even realize affect us, and to me, smell is a big one too. Okay, here's the first one. Everybody keeping track, and I say this with love. The very first thing I always talk about, because it always comes up, especially with new folks. Did I mention, hi, my name is Beth, Destination Decluttered. Please follow my TikTok page. Thank you. I have an entire home that needs to be decluttered. It says Jeannie, Nina Gray, 1972. So this to me, when I do these TikTok lives and Facebook lives, Instagram, YouTube, because I'm on all those, the only way we can communicate is by me talking to my screen, and I get your questions kind of coming up. You have had to type in. So I can only rely on the words that you choose to use to communicate what's going on with you. So Jeannie, Janine, yeah. My glasses ain't working so good lately. When you say, I have an entire home that needs to be decluttered, right? Entire implies a bit of bigness, maybe too big. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start. Overwhelm and I don't know where to start are typically the number one things that come up in every single one of these lives that I do. And that's fine. That's fine, because we get new people all the time, and I want to help you with that. Again, my hands are smelling so good. Entire means too big. Overwhelm, too big. It means you're looking at it too big. Now, some of you have showed up before know that I have an inflatable globe that I was using for a while to say overwhelm is just like it's too big. You've got the world on your shoulders. You're looking at it. Oh my gosh, it's too huge. Yeah, my globe kind of deflated a little bit, and I tried to use it. It's like $2 or something on Amazon, but I'll try to use it. So just think of overwhelm being it's too big. You're looking at it too big above you, so you're not making any progress. The antidote to that, the opposite. I'm all about the opposites. It's so much about the opposites. It's almost like a kid's game. Is The opposite of overwhelm is down. Think about it. Over to down, right? There's a couple of things you do when you chunk it down, right? You get it so you can look at it. You take it out of your head and put it down on a piece of paper where you can see what's going on. And then you chunk it down. And then there was another down I was using yesterday. Chunk it down. There was something else down. Write it down. That was it. You write it down. You chunk it down. Okay? So start small. Your entire home, chunk down your entire home. Luckily, homes are already chunked down into rooms. What's a room you can start with? Okay? What's a portion of the room? I'll give you 3 ways to overcome the overwhelm by chunking it down so you can make movement. You can chunk down by space, so house to room. You can chunk it down by time. Put the timer on your phone and say, I'm only going to declutter for 20 minutes. So you get started for only 20 minutes as opposed to being overwhelmed with it's going to take so long. Or the third one is based on the coaching that I do, is one of the 3 levels of clutter: surface, stored, or sentimental. Start with your surface clutter. That's the easiest stuff. That's the stuff on all the horizontal surfaces that you know this doesn't belong there, but you know pretty much where it belongs. Trash in the trash, recycles in the recycles, things to donate in a donate bag, things that are out of their homes in that room, put in their homes in that room, right? So notice how the antidote to over is down. You write it down, you chunk it down. I'm even going to write that down so I don't forget it the next time. I love learning how to better communicate what I'm doing. And I swear the only reason I do that is because I talk so goddamn much about all this stuff. So different things pop up. I want to make it as easy and as simple for you to remember so you realize it is not that difficult and you can get started in a hot minute. You won't get from, and this is why I use this metaphor of road tripping, you won't get there in a day. It didn't get cluttered in a day. It won't get decluttered in a day. And that's okay. I am here in Pennsylvania. I want to go to Palm Springs, California. I know I won't get there in a day, but you know how I will get there? A little bit at a time, over a number of days. And the more I show up for a little bit at a time, the sooner I'll get there. Same with you. You got this. Whoop, what do we got here? All right, the 4 storage bins, I dumped them out in a spare room. Now it all looks overwhelming to straighten. Okay, Anastasia, for real. All right, so same type of thing. So notice surface, stored, sentimental. So you said storage bin, so that is stored clutter. One of the things you did correctly, I will say, is when you deal with your stored clutter is stuff that's anything in what I like to call like doors and drawers, behind doors and in drawers. So you're thinking of closets, you're thinking of bureau drawers, you're thinking of kitchen doors, cabinets, anything like that, even boxes. And the thing that you need to do in order to declutter those is to dump it out and sort it. Dump out, kind of like you dump out the thoughts of spaghetti in your head. You write it down, you write it down and you chunk it down. It's the same type of thing. You put it down in front of you, but then notice, because you did 4 storage bins and you dumped 4 of them in the spare room, and now it's so much. That's the overwhelm. You even use the word overwhelm. Overwhelm means over. No, take control over it. Take it from being over to you to down. And what I want to offer to you and everybody else is chunking down by category. Now, we talked about surface, stored, and sentimental, but when you have all this stuff in front of you and it's kind of a mishmash, right? A hodgepodge lodge. Find categories. Categories. Name of something. I got to write that down. Zoom categories. Was it Zoom categories? I'm a Gen Xer. I speak fluent pop culture references from certain times. So pick a category. What are the things that some of those things have in common? Is it a bunch of, like, I've got a bunch of, here's my pile of pencils, here's my pile of papers, here's my pile of clothes, here's my pile of sentimental objects, here's my pile of, like, start to find what, like, play a matching game. Use your brain to its advantage. Your brain has a pattern matching, a pattern recognition thing that as soon as you say, I'm going to look for all of the pencils in this pile, then your brain starts looking for pencils. It gets focused as opposed to overwhelmed with it all because you picked one thing. You chunked down all this stuff into one category and you start finding it. Maybe you don't have pencils. Look at what you have. I bet you have it. I bet you have different categories. Once you do that, the reason we categorize things is to make decision making easier. Decluttering is decision making. Oh my God, I'm like riffing today. Decluttering, decision. I'm writing this down. See, I'm writing things, so decision. Decision making. Should I stay or should I go now? Do I want this or do I not want it? If I want it, that's cool. Where am I going to put it? Where is it going to live? Does it have a home? If not, I need to create a home for it that makes sense to me. If I don't want it, what's the easiest way for me to feel good about moving it out of my life? This can be true, honest to God, garbage and trash in the trash. But if it can be recycled, put it in the recycles. If it can be donated, if it's still usable, donate it somewhere. Get it out of your life in a way that feels good to you so that you're more likely to repeat the process, okay? Hope it helps. Yes, vase and vase. Yeah, it's almost like pecans and pecans. I don't know. Or ping pong balls. Good morning, everybody. Boo-boo. Hey, boo-boo. Wonder how many people with clutter problems are neurodivergent ADHD. I am, and I really have a problem. I would say all of us have certain ways that our brains work. I have ADHD in my family. Heck, I probably have it myself. But what I have found is, regardless of the label you put on yourself, am I working with my brain? Am I realizing how my brain works the best? And have I created processes and systems to get the results that I want using the brain that I have? Yeah. And if you think it's a problem, but get curious about how your brain works and let's create some systems, some strategies, some routines, some habits, some thoughts that work with how your brain works. Because that's how you get it. You know what I mean? And yeah, a lot of people with ADHD, because they get distracted and they don't have dopamine and all this kind of stuff, that totally has it. But there's also completely neurotypical people who also struggle with clutter. But what I want to offer to all of us, because we all have brains, right, is the clutter starts up here. By the time you're there moving something with your hand, you have already had a thought that made you feel a feeling to make you either move something with your hand and throw it away or keep it. It's wicked simple. So of course you want to start up here. And of course you want to be like, is this going to get me to this destination I want or not? All right. Is this going on YouTube? Want a replay? Okay, yep, I will put it on YouTube. You guys, I got to say thank you because I'm not always consistent with that because sometimes it doesn't happen. I love it. Awesome Sauce says, my husband is watching this video with me going, yep, and that's right. All right, Hubs, we're in the same ring. Okay, what do we have? Oh, we got a whole bunch of stuff today. Making your decisions on paper is life-changing, says Christina. Now, Christina is not a paid plant here, but she is one of my one-on-one coaching clients because I do one-on-one coaching for decluttering via Zoom. I do it via Zoom because I know everybody in every state of the union, probably many cultures across the world have struggled with clutter. So by doing it with Zoom, I can reach you no matter what state you're in. Every time I do this, I look at my map of the U.S. that I actually used to use when I was writing about road tripping. And I have little smiley faces in all the states that I have clients on, and it's really cool. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, I'll just mention this real quick, and then we'll get back to stuff. DestinationDecluttered.com. Actually, if you go to my TikTok page, there's like a link tree-ish type of link. There's a button there when you click that will say schedule your consultation. A calendar will pop up and you can select a date and a time that works for you. I only do it about a week out because I have a wonderfully flexible schedule and I want to make sure that I can be there for people. So if you don't see any if you don't see any dates that work for you, shoot me a message. Shoot me a message via TikTok or the contact page on my info. My website and say, hey, I don't see anything, but I want to work with you and we can figure something out. Okay. There we go. Progress, not perfection. Better. Yes, we're going for better, not perfect. Perfect to me it's funny because I was in my Pilates class today and she talked about doing it perfectly. So it's good to try to align yourself to do it, just knowing you're never going to do it perfectly, but at least you have something that you're aiming for. I say the notion of perfection is a bit like a wolf in sheep's clothing in that it pretends to be something good, but it really keeps you stuck a lot of the times. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, I said the word stuck, and then Julie AG says, I'm really stuck. I live in a tiny cluttered apartment, and I experienced the domino effect. Okay, you know what? Pick up them dominoes and look around, Julie, to your small, tiny apartment. Imagine what it would look like and feel like without the clutter. Write that down. And then look at, here's the wonderful thing about doing it like a, again, my hands smell so good. a road trip is that you're here, right, in your small cluttered apartment. Now, you can't change the small of the apartment, but boy, can you change the cluttered. So you can say, I want my small apartment to be decluttered. I want it to be all this and that. Really, the only thing in between you is a bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff that needs to be decision made, put away, like make a decision about it, put it somewhere that gets it decluttered, and also change your habits so you don't reclutter yourself. Okay? Moving anything means blocking a walkway. It gets exhausting. But you know what? Here's the funny thing. You can still walk through your apartment, right? How about today you just start with, and this is, I'm chunking it down for you. You've got your one apartment. Pick one room in your apartment, maybe a hallway. What's going to make the most difference to you to get some clear pathways through your piles? I've helped people with that. Pick a place in your apartment. Look at the amount of time you have today, chunk it down, and start with surface clutter with a goal of, I'm going to move the biggest things. I know I've already made decisions on some stuff that I know is trash, recycling, or something I know I can give away or donate. Walk around your house and do that. Decrease the sheer number of items in your room, in your home, and that's going to make a huge difference. That will get you started. There you go. Reseller clutter. I just want to donate it all. Sheila John Mempep. Do it. Just donate it. I did it. I used to resell, and then I was so sick of it, and it just brought me no joy. And when you don't do your things with joy, people can smell it on you, right? That's what I've learned, to ease back on the things that used to bring me joy that now I feel kind of meh about. I give you permission to donate it. Your time on this planet is worth so much more than whatever money you would get from that reseller stuff, okay? Allow yourself, here, I absolve you of that feeling. Go donate that stuff today and then go out and play, okay? Do it. Time is short. I take my surface clutter in a hurry and put it in boxes so it looks clean. Now I have boxes. Bonnie, you know what you did? I learned this from my, I learned this from one of my ADHD clients. You created a doom box, DOOM. And it doesn't mean doom and gloom, though it probably feels like that. It means didn't organize, only moved. You throw it into a container, you pitch it away, you say, I'll get back to that later, and you never do. It's fine. It's so common. What you do now is you take one box at a time, and just like I said up thread, you dump it out, you categorize it, and you deal with it as opposed to ignoring it. Dealing with the things you've been ignoring, when you do it, after you do it, you're going to feel like a freaking rock star. It feels so much better to just freaking deal with stuff than have it hanging over you all the time. Oh my God, and you're going to realize it's not that difficult. Especially when you're not in a hurry, that you can make a decision about, do I want this in my life or don't I? And you can make that so much more easily when you start with the end in mind, as the guy from that business self-help book, Habits of Effective People or whatever did. When you know what you're aiming for, you can direct yourself to say, is this going to fit into that life or not? And you can more easily say with confidence and certainty, no, that's not going to work for me. Like my husband and I had a dog for 15, 16 years. We loved him. And we were able to travel while he was around. But as he got older, it became more arduous. It became more difficult. It became more expensive and more stressful because we would be away. But part of us would be like, is he okay back at home? He has since passed, our little bub. And we love him so. But we also know at this stage of our lives, we want to do some traveling. We want to be able to jump on a plane in a hot minute and have adventures. We know that not having a dog right now, that decision to not have a dog right now helps us lead that life we want. So notice how every decision you make, if you ping it against, is that going to give me the life I want or not? It just makes it easier, okay? Liz is saying, we're in the process of moving and have way too much stuff that we don't want to take with us. You just gave yourself the answer, Liz. Do not take with you what you don't want to take. Do not take with you what you don't want to take. Do not take with you what you don't want to take, right? Am I right? Yeah. You already said there's stuff you don't want. Don't take it with you. You'll just have to donate when you get there. Donate what you can before your move. And also know this, and I know this from professional experience and personal experience. You will most likely bring too much, no matter how much you get rid of, how much you donate, how much you throw away right now before your move, you will most likely bring too much stuff for your new home. That is okay. That is to be expected. That is part of the process. By knowing that, you'll realize that it's okay to get into your new home with the stuff that you thought from back then you would need here, and then just get curious about how much you really actually need of that stuff. Notice your habits. We need and can function so wonderfully with so many fewer items in our lives than we currently have. So get curious and know that that's going to happen, and be okay with the fact that once you get in and you start to live in that home, make sure you're using it the way you want to look and feel. Don't just unpack everything because you need to unpack it and put it there. Be mindful about what you bring into that home and how you use it. And if you need something, you'll go find it in a box and you'll pull it out. But if you don't need it and it's not useful to you, pay attention to that, because that stuff that you might easily be able to donate when then creating your new home, instead of being a replica of your old home that was more cluttered, you can have a decluttered new home. Okay? Oh boy, we got a lot of things here. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I will have to put this one on YouTube, so I'm going to write that one down. YouTube upload. Yeah, also I love it. Back in PDX says, also think about the energy it's giving, it's giving or not giving. Yeah, don't hang on to stuff that tells you bad stories. Like, I was married for a very short, unhappy time in my early 20s, and oh my gosh, anything I had from then, I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to be, I know it happened. I will never not remember it, but I don't need things with a daily reminder that tell me crappy stories. So I get them into other places where other people can't hear the stories, so they get to delight in these things, and I get to only surround myself with stuff that I love, Okay, Mercury to you. We are moving to a larger house partially because I have too much. Okay, I'm just saying, notice when you even say it's too much, not like just right, not enough. There's not enough, there's just right, enough, and then there's too much. Okay, keepsakes of all my kids. Your kids are the keepsakes, I would like to think. Who are you saving it for? You always remember you have those kids and you love them. If you need evidence of that, that's cool. But just notice. And also, if you're saving it for them, here's the thing where clutter can be a generational thing. If you're saving it for them, ask them if they want that stuff. Okay? Your kid, yeah, exactly. Call me Patcha says, your kids don't want it, toss it. I'm saving it for them. Ask them if they want it. You may be saving it for you, thinking they want it. They may not want it. The younger generations are less attached to some stuff, and also, frankly, allow them to be. You and I would not be spending an hour on our Saturday mornings trying to get help with our clutter if we already knew how to process this. So allow them to be like, it's okay to not want it. Don't get resentful. Just learn about it. Let's break this chain. Let's break this chain of being hung up and stuck by our clutter and our stuff. Okay, and you can do that by releasing the expectation that the younger generation wants any of the stuff that you saved. Be okay with that, okay? Crunchy Mama says, how do you get your family members on board with decluttering? Realize a couple of things. Realize that it's really hard to change yourself, so it's going to be nearly impossible to change anybody else. So start with yourself. Start with yourself, knowing, Tanya, nice to see you. I am having a great day. Notice when you start with yourself, everybody, clutter starts up here. Clutter is a thought about a thing in your home. The thought makes you feel a certain way about that thing. That feeling the thought makes the feeling makes you say, I either want to hang on to this or I'm okay with letting it go. So you can even just start to think about your own clutter in that way. Is it easy for me to let go of? What am I clinging on to? So there's that kind of life coach certification process, yada, yada stuff that I have, that this is how I coach. But then also be curious and start noticing what your habits are that keep you, what's your participation in the clutter in the home? What are your habits that are keeping you not just with the clutter in the background, like the backlog, but what's the clutter? What are the habits you have that keep you cluttered? The habits you have of when you walk in your door and you throw stuff there and you don't pick it up. The habits you have of taking off your clothes and keeping them on the floor and not putting them in a hamper. The habits you have of putting them in a hamper, but then the hamper gets piled up and then it's too much to do laundry. The habit you have of, allowing the laundry to pile up, and so then you run out of underpants and you go buy more, right? Habits, habits, habits. I take the drama out of decluttering so much because to me, drama is an energy, and I would much rather use that energy for cool things as opposed to like exhausting myself and being too overwhelmed, you know? So yeah, do that. What else? F just said, where can I read your road trip stuff? Here you go. And it's actually funny. I just got an email from my guy who does my website, retroroadmap.com. My pen name there is Maud Betty. And I did that for, God, tons of years. I wrote a bunch of books. I had, it was on TV, stuff like that there. My junk drawer and doom piles. Sort them out, put them away. Yeah, actually, Anastasia, for real. So for real, you have a coffee maker, but you don't drink coffee. Why do you keep it? Listen for the answer and say, does that make sense? I don't drink coffee either. The only reason we have a coffee maker is because my husband drinks coffee, and even coffee right now, for a lot of times he uses like a little mocha pot on the stove. But then when we have people over, he wants the coffee pot, and now that it's getting warmer out, he can make a big pot of coffee and make it into iced coffee, so it works. There you go. All right, so Beth Whitley. Hey, fellow Beth. I got depressed when my mother passed a year and a half ago, and my house is still a mess. Of course, you got depressed when your mom passed away. That's to be understanding. Somebody also up thread said, how do you declutter things that have meaning? That's what I call the third kind of layer of clutter, which is sentimental clutter. This is the stuff in your home that tells you stories, that reminds you of people, even meaning earlier you, different versions of you. And that's going to be the stuff that just is a little bit more challenging because it requires a little bit more thought, a little bit more heart. And also know that that is going to drain your energy more. So much like, this is I work in analogy, I talk about road trips and everything. This is the analogy I will use about decluttering your sentimental items, knowing that they are going to be the most difficult. Imagine, old family photos, sentimental clutter. Here we go, people. Imagine starting a workout regiment, and immediately walking into the gym and going straight for the 500-pound barbell, even though you've never been in there in your life, and trying to lift it up. You're going to strain yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. It's going to be arduous. You're going to have to recover from it. You will be less likely to show up at the gym again. That's why when I coach, I suggest highly for maximum effectiveness. Now, you can do whatever you want. This is the great thing. You don't have to do what I say, but what I say works. You're the one behind the wheel, steering wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. But what I want to offer is think about it this way. If you start with your surface clutter, that's the stuff that you have the least emotional connection with. It's just stuff you got to put away. Do I want this or not? Stored clutter requires a little bit more thought, a little bit more feeling, like, do I want this or not? Sentimental clutter is like pretty much all here, all of the things. So this is going to sap your energy. So start small, start easy. Go to the gym, pick up those little bright pink weights that are two pounds, and do the easy stuff first. Get yourself used to showing up just at to declutter. Don't start with the hard stuff first. When you start with the hard stuff first, it's going to hurt and you won't want to show up again. If you start with the easy stuff, you'll say, oh, that isn't that bad. I'll do this again tomorrow. Oh, I notice I'm making a difference. Oh, it feels better in here. Hey, it smells better because I took the trash out, right? Then you start to build your muscle. And then the more you do it and the more you show up, you get in the habit of showing up and doing a little bit at a time. Once you build your muscles and you start to, one of the muscles you are going to build is the decision-making muscle in your brain of, do I want this item in my life or not? Is this item in my life going to add to the joy and delight of my future life or not? When you get used to start making decisions from that barometer, that North Star, that destination, by the time you get so good at those thoughts, it's going to be so much easier to go through some of the sentimental clutter. Now, sentimental clutter requires a number of steps, but just notice if you start with surface and then stored stuff of your own, that even if you never get to the sentimental, your home is going to look and feel and function so much better. Okay, there we go. Portsmouth 35 says Pokemon cards or baseball cards may be valuable, so hard to let go. How about this? How about you take some time today, Portsmouth 35, and do a Google search and see if they are valuable. If they are valuable, you can make a decision about them. If they're not valuable, you can also make a decision about them. I had to do the same thing. My dad used to collect books. And we thought his books were really valuable, so we hung on to him for a long time. Then sadly, this was last summer, we went and asked somebody about how the value of them. They're like, yeah, nobody wants those anymore. Like, you can, like, here's some smidgy, here's like a couple of pennies for them, right? So things will change. Values of things change. So just become aware right now of what they're worth. That might help make a decision. Things are popular with people when they, like, the era of people that are, that they connect with is alive and has money and wants to do that. They're, think about Beanie Babies. Think about so many things that used to be worth a lot and are not, and just know that there is a lifespan of those things, that the window can be closing on it. So anybody here, if you have something that you think is valuable, get it appraised right now. Just get to know yourself and know what the big deal is, and just then you'll be able to make a decision, not just with your heart, but with your head, to say, oh, this is really only worth a couple of bucks. Maybe I'll just get rid of it now. See, there you go. Your Ray Dunn collection, Christina, and we can collect stuff and think it's going to be valuable, but we really should just be enjoying it because we enjoy it, collecting it because we enjoy it. Never expect your stuff, unless you've really truly invested in things, and even that's a crapshoot, to say, do I want this? Is this going to provide me value or not? All right. So since we're kind of at the bottom of the hour and we've got a bunch of new people here, I just wanted to quickly reintroduce myself. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I say destination because I'm all about the road trip. See, that's all of us in this little car over here. You are here in your life. You are here in your home. What does your home look and feel like and function like? If it doesn't look and feel and function like you want it to, what do you want your home to look and feel and function like? And that's what we drive towards, okay? If you like my TikTok page, that would be awesome. If you want to join up for the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, where you get invited to a monthly members-only Zoom, sign up for that. That is at destinationdecluttered.com/join. All you need to do is put in your email address. You immediately get a PDF of a habit tracker. Oops. Road trip based, because I'm all about the road trip. You can use this for free for the rest of your life. Print it out as many times. It's for you. It's a gift. The other thing too is I offer one-on-one decluttering coaching on Zoom. That means even though I am geographically located in the eastern part of the United States, I can and do help people from across the country and maybe the world. I don't know. I want to get an international client at some point. All right. So that is also destinationdecluttered.com. Work with me. There's a bunch of orange buttons there that say do a consultation. And I have to remind myself, I'm going to get off of this in a hot minute at 11 Eastern, because I have a consultation right after this. Okay. Oh, interesting. Looney Poon Just Jen says, I have organizers coming on Monday. That is awesome. You got people to come to your house. What I have found, I will share this with you guys, and this is why I have strategically, noting that the life I want to live, is I have gone to people's homes and I have helped them declutter, but I've done the decluttering for them. What I have found in my experience is, and I hope this is not the experience for you, Jen. I hope what you've signed up for and are paying for is worth it. But what I've found is a couple of things. One is that it's all about decision making. And the person who should be making the decisions about the stuff is the person who owns them. So if I was at your house, I would be picking up an item saying, hey, what's this? Do you want it or not? If you want it, where does it go? If you don't want it, how do we want to move it out of the house? Hey, what's this? Do you want it? What is it? Do you want it? Do you not want it? If you don't want it, where does it go? If you want it, where does it go? Right? It's just that lather, rinse, and repeat that all comes from your brain, right? What I've also learned is when you go and organize the stuff and categorize the things, when you do those pre-steps for somebody, they don't learn to change their mind. They don't get to examine all those mini decisions they made. So I can help. It will help you. It will help with the backlog of clutter, the accumulated clutter. I hope it too helps you change your habits, your daily habits, that if you don't change those, you're going to clutter again. And I don't mean that as a threat. I just say be mindful. Everybody here, be mindful of what your daily habits are that got you cluttered and keep you cluttered. Okay? Yeah. See, isn't this interesting? Tammy Barber, I'm extremely unorganized and my daughter is extremely organized. Coming from a home of cluttered collector people and my mother is disorganized, you wonder why I am so organized? I mean, I wasn't for years. I had learned from my mother, and then I was like, I don't like the feeling of this. I don't like the stress of it. I don't like being able to be embarrassed when people come over. I can't find anything. All the bad feelings about an organization allowed me to say, I need to change this in my life. And I had a number of jobs in my life that all kind of, I pulled the good stuff out of all those jobs. I've gotten life coaching myself. I have taken life coaching training and certification. All of these things I have kind of put in the recipe of what I do with coaching. And that's why I show up and do this. You know, Susan 6167 says, how do I get over my inability or difficulty to let go of sentimental items? Just allow yourself to feel the feelings and remind yourself, and everybody who has sentimental items, remind yourself that that the feeling is not in the thing. The thing is just a thing. The thing is just a thing. The thing reminds you of that person or that event or whatever, but the memory is in your head. It's not in the thing. So is there a way that you can remember whatever this reminds you of without keeping the thing? And also know that the goal is not to die with an empty house. The goal is to go from having too much of the wrong stuff to be just right with the amount of items you have and the assortment of items that you have. And that kind of proportion and ratio and amount is completely up to you. Like, I've done some TikTok videos where I walk around my own house, you know, chatting and stuff. I don't like to do the walk and talk ones because I get distracted myself. But you will see in the background, I have a lot of artwork hanging on the walls, and I have things that I've collected. Excuse me. And I'm a decluttering life coach. That's okay, because you know what? I freaking love my house. I love all the stuff in it. I don't necessarily love all of it, but it's like, I enjoy how it looks. It brings me joy to be like, ooh, that's fun. This is neat. I like it, right? That's how I walk around my house. The colors, the stuff I've collected, the way I display it is all about me. Yours is all about you. Your mileage will vary to mine. I don't want your house looking like my house, right? Your house, your home should reflect you, what's important to you, how it functions for you. And that's why I love one-on-one coaching, because that's when we really get to say, how does your mind work and what is going to be a process that gets you the result you want, which is simple and easy for your brain, so you are more likely to show up for it. You know, there we go. What else do we have? Boy, do we have a lot of questions here. I will do my best in the next, 28 minutes, 22 minutes. I'm trying to do the math. There's an 8 there, 42, 52, 18 minutes. And then I got to hop off because I have a consultation. Also, I just noticed somebody, Mary Kate, just booked a consultation. I will get to that. I promise I will send you the info about that in about an hour and a half or so while I got off my other consultation. And what do I say? Well, there you go. I told my kids to throw away everything when I'm dead. Why don't you help your kids out with it and do some of that now? I don't know. 40 toothbrush. Yeah, be interesting. Be interested in what you've collected. You are going to notice themes about yourself that previously you did not realize. Oh my gosh, you guys, I noticed that during COVID, and even maybe before then, I went through a huge kind of hot pink phase. Look at my glasses. Look at my book. Even the pen I just got from my sister that's pink right here. Look at my, my Post-it notes. I've got other things all around here that at the time I just didn't even notice that it was a theme until I stepped outside of myself and I was like, oh my God, I'm like wicked matchy here, right? So sometimes you can't see what's going on. Sometimes you need some other eyes to look through at your things to make you notice the things that you don't even know because you're so used to the stuff. Okay, there we go. What else do we got? Okay. Yeah, Kendra's just saying, my toughest part was being sentimental with items. Now I realize you don't have to keep a lot. No, here's the thing. And yeah, as just a relic, it says, please do it for them, please. I bet you're a child who's like, yeah, like my mother even said, like, yeah, you guys, like, I don't know, you guys can deal with this when I'm dead. And I'm like, do I have to do that? Oh, yeah, Tammy, I will also get after you. I will follow up with you after noontime Eastern about your consultation. Thank you very much. What do I want to offer? Good stuff. Decluttering. Yeah. As a kid going through 50 years of stuff and a parent's death at 6 years old, help them now. Yeah. And here's the thing I do want to offer though, on the opposite is we can offer to help our parents. We can offer to help these people. But notice how I said earlier when somebody said, how do I get the family involved? If they don't want to be involved, they ain't going to be involved. Some people do not want to change the way they think and act. And you cannot force them. You will aggravate them. You will aggravate yourself. It won't be winning. You can offer to help. And I say this too. I say this. Offer to help them. And make sure, and this is the life coaching part, make sure your vibe, make sure, as Elvis Costello would say, is my aim is true. Okay? That your energy and motivation is coming from your heart and with love and curiosity and compassion and a true openness of wanting to help them versus, oh my God, Jesus Christ, this place is such a freaking mess and I'm just so sick of it and I so don't want to deal with it after you're dead. Here, let's go. Notice how there's a difference in what you say and how you say it. If you come from a place of love and non-expectation and openness to say, I would like to help you with, if you're struggling with, I would like to help you with this. Do you want help with this? I'm here for you if you need help. I did this with my mother. My dad passed away, 13 years ago? I did this with my mother for years and years and years. No, I got it. No, I got it. And at one point, a couple of summers ago, she said, you know what? Yeah, I think I need help. It wasn't until then that it was going to work. And even then, I ended up doing 90% of the stuff from her. She did not want to change the way she thought or acted. So it is now piled up again. Okay? So just know you can offer to help people. You will want them to because you don't want to deal with it when they're dead. They may not want to change or maybe even be able to change. But notice that, and if it's happening, here's what I offer. Get it back to you. How can you change what you're thinking about that situation so it feels better to you? This is what I did. I'll be honest with you, is I know I'm not going to change how my mother acts or thinks or what she does. But what I've done, and I've walked around her house and said, okay, do I want any of this stuff in my home? And there's one or two things that I do, but the 99.9% I don't. So I've already started to make a plan. What are we going to do when mom passes to clean out this house? And so knowing it's okay that she doesn't do it. And also, frankly, I want my mother to enjoy the time she has left on this planet. I don't want her art. And even right now, she's beating herself. She's not making good progress on it, frankly. But she's saying, oh, I got to clean up this. I got to clean up that. I got to clean up that. And I'm like, you know what? You're 80 plus years old. Go out and enjoy the days you have left and really enjoy them. We will deal with your shit when you're done. That's how I feel. But that's my journey with my mother and, my siblings. Your mileage will vary, but get clear with a decision that feels right to you. I don't mind knowing that I am going to have to take a few weeks out of my life when my mother passes to empty a house. It's going to be easy and it's going to be a pain. Like it's going to be whatever. I'd rather do something else with my time, but I would so much rather be on my own deathbed knowing that I allowed my mother the freedom to go play for the rest of her life so she doesn't have to be sitting in her house spinning about all these books that she buys and never reads, right? There we go. Yeah. So it's there. Is there a reason people ask for help then don't change? I'm dealing with this. You know what? User 0000000. What I want to suggest is there a reason people ask for help but then don't change? I would think that if you ask for help and then you don't change, you are afraid of changing at a certain point. You're afraid of losing something. You're afraid of losing control. You're afraid of losing the stories that you've identified with so much. There's fear behind there. There's fear of change. And that's why I always come back to life coaching. We're saying there's a thought that you have. This is how I describe it anyway. There's a thought in your head that makes you feel a feeling in your heart that makes you do a thing with your hands. I try to keep it really simple. So think about it. If you think it's going to be scary to change, you're going to get like a fear kind of thing. You're going to cling. Notice how I kind of even clenched my hand. So you're going to hold on to stuff. I won't want to change. You have to love why you're changing so you go through the changing of the stuff. Having a destination saying, I am doing this because I want my life to look and feel better. There may be a fear of what if I do all this and my life still doesn't feel better? What if I do this and I feel exposed or scared or not surrounded by things that give me comfort? It's So much is up here, and honor that. Be curious about it, and if people are doing the best they can with what they have when they're doing it. They may not be ready. I have a client right now who said she hung on to stuff for years and years and years. She got in touch with me. She's like, I am just ready. I am there. And I even have a note to myself about clients that I work with. I say, I only work with people who are eager and ready to work with me to transform their lives. I provide so much energy and so much you can do it, but I cannot drive you to there. You need to drive yourself. You need to be the driver of your own life. Same thing with weight loss, says Bonnie. I agree. There's so many parallels with a lot of this stuff. Is you are behind the wheel of the car of your life. You are the one who steers it towards the life you want or away from it. It's either towards or away, or you stay stuck, which is still away because you're not moving towards it. And you have the ability to get inspired and drive in the right direction and go towards it and step on the gas and keep on going till you get there. Or you have the choice of slowing your roll, pulling back on the gas, slowing down, maybe even stopping. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm not going to do anything today, but I'll do twice as much tomorrow. And then you kind of make, decisions. The more you realize that if you look at it like a road trip, and this is why I go back to even my just road trip thing, when you are excited about where you're going, when you get a sparkly kind of effervescent feeling in your heart and your body and your mind about the life you want to live, and you're like, yes, I want to get to there. Notice that, yes, I want to get to there thought is a sentence in your head that I just said out my, it's up here, and then I said it, it's words. That makes you feel, yes, I want to go to there, as Tina Fey's daughter would say. And then you do something to get yourself there. Like I just booked some international flight tickets a couple of days ago that were much more expensive than I wanted them to be, but I did it anyway because I want my life to be filled with me saying yes to unexpected, cool opportunities that land at my plate, that the universe says, hey, here's an opportunity that you weren't expecting, but some people are traveling internationally and they want you to go with them. Do you want to go? I don't want to say no to the universe when those types of things happen. So I found a way to say, yes, that's me. Because that's what I want my life to look and feel like. If you hate living in useless clutter, chin up, buttercup. Chin up, buttercup. Love living in useful stuff. Change that. What's the opposite of you living in useless clutter? Being surrounded by stuff that doesn't clutter up your home and is only the stuff you use, right? There's so much of this, right? Yeah, getting up and moving is what I do. The main crux of it all. I can talk for an hour. I have talked right now for 52 minutes. Oh my God. Here, excuse me. I can only say so much, but you are the one who has to, as Mel Robbins says, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up and move. It's all about that decision to stay sitting or even just stand up and start moving. That's a cool idea even too. If you're sitting down and not decluttering, just try standing up and see if it makes it easier. It will make it easier for you to walk towards a piece of clutter. Even if you can't do that, you're like, I can't even. You can put your hands out, right? You can sit here and put your hands out like this and make a circle. Oh, it just worked out, so I'm kind of achy. And what stuff in the circle of your surroundings can you pick up and say, does this fit with my life or does it not? What do I want to do with it? Okay, hockey chick, I want to kind of play with you here for a sec. My husband has a bunch of old stuff cluttering the house, but he thinks my stuff needs to go. Do you notice how you also think his stuff needs to go? Maybe you should both just kind of look at your own stuff, right? It's interesting to just notice. Let's work on ourselves first. When you work on yourself, it will have a positive ripple effect on everything else. Or it will have a ripple effect. It will ultimately be positive, but when you start to change and you're starting to change and other people notice it and it might impact their lives, they may try to get you to slow your roll. That's kind of an external backseat driver, I like to say, is because when you say to people, hey, I'm not going to clean up after you anymore, you're going to have to clean up after yourself. They may push back because they're used to having somebody cleaning up, right? There we go. You know what? What I want to offer, okay, I sat at my desk and did a baggie of receipts yesterday and that was it. Hey, that's good. You did it. Notice you put the receipts in a baggie. Notice you had that habit of doing that. There we go. Yeah, our physically, cognitively challenged son loves to keep wire, notebooks, paper towel rolls, etc. Here's where I want to offer to everybody, no matter how your brain works. Everybody's brain has stories about stuff that makes them feel a certain way and do a certain thing. So your husband has a certain feeling about his stuff, a thought about his stuff that makes him feel a certain way and do a certain thing. Your husband has a feeling about your stuff, or excuse me, a thought about your stuff that makes him feel like you should get rid of it. Your son has a thought in his head about these things that make him feel a certain way. Just honor that. You know what I mean? Honor that and know it, and then find a way, and this is what I help with my coaching, find a way to work with your brain to get the result that you want, right? ADHD brains I work with a lot. I work with a lot of neurotypical people. You have to be willing to, no matter who you are, you have to be willing to show up and do something different repeatedly until that becomes your norm. To not only deal with the backlog of clutter, as I'm always pretending that comes right before this little dot right here. It's a giant pile of clutter that's piled up over years and decades, right? We can knock that down together, but unless you change your little daily habits with awareness and diverting and rerouting and creating new neural pathways in your brain, it will begin to build up again. Okay, so you are the one who determines whether this is successful or not. And the great thing is that means you don't have to rely on anybody else. You can just work up here to say, what are my unhelpful thoughts that are making me feel a certain crappy way, that are forcing me to think this is going to be hard, this is going to be difficult, yada, yada. You know what I mean? Yeah, your realtor, MK True, I will say, I did a kind of a Zoom thing once with a realtor, just talking about how to right size and downsize and things like that. And you're right. Did you notice? It's frustrating and it's all up here. You know, oh, Christina just said I was her ADHD angel. Like, I don't mind that. I got little wings, right? You can only control yourself. Yeah, and when you realize that, you suddenly remember that nobody else is steering your car except for you. You're the one with your hands on the wheel. Now, you've got backseat drivers that will whisper something to your ear that will cause you to not move, not change, or slow your roll, or divert. Those are your unhelpful thoughts. But I want to end with this because I literally have 2 minutes and then I have a consultation that I don't want to be late to. That's why I'm prepping for it already. Is you also have a co-pilot voice in your head. You have thoughts that if you quiet down the backseat drivers, you're finally giving your co-pilot, your passenger, an opportunity to speak. And you've got a voice in you that kind of sounds like the words I say, but hopefully not with my goofy voice, that says, you got this. You can do it. Where do you want to go? Let's go. I've got the map. I can help you get there. I know how to get there, right? When you calm down those fearful voices, when you meditate, when you deep breathe, when you write down those things, when you take it down from your brain and write it down and then chunk it down, that's when it changes. And you are the one who decides. Notice, hate to break it to you guys, it's all about decision making. You get to decide when you do that, when you show up, when you don't show up, there you go. How can you get your partner to assist? How about starting yourself and just practicing these things so you can be giving them tangible actions to do, There we go. Calm and balance. Yes, that helps. Buy Nothing group. So I love this. Thank you, everybody who has showed up today. Again, my name is Beth, Destination Decluttered. I'm signing off in a minute, but I want to give you some good info because that's why I even just show up on TikTok, right? So tomorrow I will be doing another TikTok live. I hope what I have done is inspired you to, when you get off of this call, you just sit there quietly and say, what do I want my home to look like? What do I want my home to feel like, smell like, function like? And then what can you do today to get it closer to that? All right. Please like my TikTok page if you haven't already. That would be awesome. That allows you to be notified when I do TikTok lives again. Tomorrow morning I will be doing one at 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll see how strubly I look because I have plans for tonight. And what else? There's a Destination Decluttered email mailing list you can get onto that gets you a free habit tracker that's attached to your welcome email and an invitation to a monthly Zoom call that's only for people on the mailing list. Nobody else gets on it except for the mailing list. There's that. I also do one-on-one coaching. Now I do one-on-one coaching for 10-week packages, one-on-one via Zoom. I see some people have booked consultations. That's awesome. I will get to that as soon as I'm done with the consultation I'm about to be on. If you're interested, destinationdecluttered.com, and you'll see work with me. There's a big old button that says schedule a consultation. I've been getting a lot of these lately. And what I will say is sign up for one and we'll see what we can do. All right. I get a consultation. I will talk to you later. Bye. Bye.